thanks for sitting down with me. So you're a South Carolina resident. So Trump victory in South Carolina over Nikki Haley. How major is that? What does that mean, for her? Is this where she ends?
There's a difference between being embarrassed and being humiliated. Nikki was embarrassed in Iowa, embarrassed in New Hampshire. She was humiliated by an open box that said none of the above in Nevada. And now we head to South Carolina, her home state, where she's down by 30 plus points in a lot of the polling. And I got to tell you, I worked for Donald Trump for 4 years in the White House, on the campaign. I know him very well. He faced some of the most difficult challenges, not just from the three-letter agencies and the deep state and the federal government going after him, but with domestic policy, with foreign policy. He succeeded in all of those ways. But I'm also a 20-year resident of South Carolina, so I know Nikki as well. I was executive director of the South Carolina Republican Party back when she was just a legislator. I know this situation, how it works, and I know who can do the job and who can't. And it's clearly Donald Trump. What I've been fascinated by, though, is when I went around and I spoke in the upstate for a minute there near the Greenville area. I went to Beaufort, Bluffton, Hilton Head, Charleston, all the places so many around the world know. And I was taken by the fact that so many hate her for what she's doing, how angry they are at her. I didn't expect to find that when I was there. And it's everything from saying she would never run if Donald Trump was running and then, ran, taking Democrat billionaire money and using that to run and say horrible things about President Trump that Democrats will use in advertising most assuredly. But a lot of the folks in South Carolina did not like the fact that what she was trying to do was take the party backwards to that late 90s, early 2000 globalist, elitist, corporatist realm that it's waved by to at this point. So I was really fascinated by it. I think it's going to be a really big night for Donald Trump tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to a solid, significant victory, and I think he's going to deliver it.
And you mentioned, that he faced a lot of difficulties during his last presidency, but obviously now we're seeing him face some difficulties with what's happening in New York. Can you comment on what the Attorney General has been doing there against Donald Trump?
Look, I think all of these cases, if you're being honest with yourself, are clearly to try and drain his resources. But more than that, I think overall what they're trying to do is so sully his reputation and muddy the waters that those suburban women that everyone wants to get for an election just say, it's too much. I don't want to vote for him. The problem is the body of work of Donald Trump is so starkly different to the body of work of Joe Biden. Uniquely, we have two people here who either were president, are president, and there are records for both of them. One, and Donald Trump gave us record-setting success in record time. Regardless of race, religion, color, or creed, your life was better. Under Joe Biden, it's been worse, not just here at home, but internationally as well. Of course the border's open. Of course crime is spiking. We have massive numbers like we've never seen before. Human trafficking, child smuggling, drugs pouring into this country, and of course the world's burning with wars in Israel and Ukraine. So they're taking a look at kind of the two policies of the two people, and it's obvious they're going after Donald Trump and want to continue to attack him because he was so successful and he took away their power. He threatens the fiefdoms they've built in the last several decades, and that's what they're afraid of. They didn't like the fact he didn't use all the regular consultants. They didn't like the fact he didn't play ball and allow America to be the world's piggy bank for NATO and other shady deals like the Iran nuclear deal. He just said no to all of those things, and I think that threatens them in a large measure because what they are so focused on is gaining and maintaining political power. He took that away from them. That's what they hate, and that's what they're afraid of.
And you mentioned immigration. It's gotten unbelievably bad, obviously, under President Biden. How does Trump come in and fix such a major problem? How does he turn around what Biden has done?
Yeah, and he's talked about this a lot, actually, on the campaign trail with not just the mass deportations, but also you want to stop the flow immediately. And I think he's prepared to reverse all of those executive orders that Joe Biden kind of eroded from his term. He wants to reinstate the Safe Third agreements with other countries. He wants to end catch and release. Obviously, the Remain in Mexico policy. There are so many things we worked on that it didn't just go to make this country safer, it also made the people in those other countries safer too, because they weren't trekking those journeys, facing almost certain death. I mean, 80% of the women on those journeys are raped, per a liberal news source. In the Trump administration, we had to give pregnancy tests to 9-year-olds because of what they faced on that journey. So it is completely disgusting what the Biden administration has done, but it's not by accident. It's by design. What they want to do is flood this nation with people who will get on the government dime and then be beholden to the Democrat Party. We have seen that time and time again. They're doing it here. But I think the American people are rejecting that, and a brilliant stroke of moving all of these people who are in this country illegally and unlawfully to New York City, to other areas where you get to see exactly what the ramification is of that policy, is really problematic for the left, because they're the ones who said we want them. They're the ones who said we're sanctuary cities. How dare you turn them away? And we give it to them, and they don't want it anymore. So it was so fascinating to see. But Donald Trump is ready, not just to have mass deportations in numbers that we've never seen, but it's also to re-implement the policies, reinstitute the policies that protected the American people and our communities.